So I'm seated in my mom's 1988 Toyota pickup truck in the camper shell. Above my head dangle found treasures, keychains, broken wind chimes, scarves, shiny things dangling, clanging against each other. I used to call my mom's truck the gypsy wagon because you could hear it turn the corner from 2 blocks away as everything just clanged against each other. My mom's with me too, also slightly hunched due to the found art. And she has a ring box in her hand and this excited expression on her face. But her face is sallow. Her arms are bruised and pockmarked. She's way too thin. My mom is addicted to speed. This is her home, and it's my 16th birthday. I'd been living with my dad for my junior year in high school, and I didn't really know when to expect to see my mom. I'd page her, sometimes she'd call me back, sometimes an angry stranger would call back. Sometimes she'd just show up at my dad's house to either ask for money or once to hose down her mattress on the front lawn. My stepmom loved that one. Today, I come out of Wilson High School on my 16th birthday, and I walk out to see the gypsy wagon parked on the street. So I go up and I knock on the back door, and just like always, there's this rattling and shaking, and her dog barks, and the door opens, and it was always either her or her boyfriend crawling, or maybe lurching is the right word, lurching out into the suburban daylight like a wild animal. So we're sitting in the truck, and she hands me this box, and I open it, and it's a very small ring, a thin gold band. And I'm shocked because it isn't like anything I've ever worn, and it isn't like anything my mom has ever even noticed. And she says, it's so delicate, it made me think of you. And she said that she had put it on layaway. And the image of my mom in her stretched out, stained clothes and bare feet, going in to make a payment for anything, was really touching for me. This was at a moment in my mom's downward spiral that was very generous and thoughtful. She had been a nurse with a teenage daughter in a new truck and an apartment, but now she's an addict who lives in her truck that's parked outside the garage where her boyfriend lives. So I take the ring and I put it on the middle finger of my left hand, and it stayed there for years and years. It was there when I was 20 years old, and my mom decided to get clean and move up with her sister in the Bay Area. I twisted it nervously, which was my tendency, when I was 21 and flew up to Oakland to see her after she'd been clean for a year, and I had no idea who I would see. I had it on my finger when I graduated from college, got my first teaching job, started seeing the world, visited Kathmandu, Paris. I had it on my finger at 30 years old when I drove up to Oakland to celebrate my mom's 10-year clean day with her. Not too long after that, it's my vacation from my teaching job. It's Christmas vacation, and I'm in the shower, and I reach over and twist the ring like I always did, and it wasn't there. I could only feel the crevice that it had left after 14 years of wearing it. I could even feel where the tiny diamonds had pushed into my skin. And I was frantic. So I felt around the shower, I searched the bathroom, I searched the bedroom, closets, my car. I asked friends to come over and use their fresh eyes. My dad came and pulled apart all the plumbing in my apartment. It was nowhere. And I was devastated. So I grieved. I grieved for my ring. I grieved for the little girl raised by drug addicts. I grieved for the security she had never known and the burdens she was still carrying. I found myself grieving as though something alive had perished. Yeah, I was in awe of my own suffering, to the point where I had to tell myself, it's not your mother, it's a ring. It's a thing. It's an artifact from a different life. I called my mom. I told her I'd lost it. I begged for her forgiveness. And no matter how many times she said, it's okay, that kind of stuff happens, I just couldn't let it go. So I had to reflect. I was 30 years old, and I had created my own stability. More than that, I'd created community and love and adventure. I was sad, but I was okay. I realized just how often I reached for the ring because every time I was greeted by that crevice, my stomach lurched. But I went on with it. My Christmas vacation ended, I drove to work, and as I was walking into my classroom, the custodian was hosing down the quad area. And as an afterthought, I said, I'm sure it's not here, but if you should happen to find a gold ring, it's mine. And I went into my classroom. Not a minute later, he opened my classroom door, and with his arm extended, pinched in his fingers, was my ring. And I couldn't believe it. I took it from his hand and instantly put it on my finger, and it slid right into the crevice that had been left there for 2 weeks. It wasn't even loose. He told me that right after I had mentioned it to him, he saw a little sparkle from under the soda machine and walked over and picked it up. It'd been there for 2 weeks. While I grieved and reflected and accepted, my ring just sat there, waiting. So I put it back on my hand, and it stayed there while I got my master's degree and continued traveling and met my husband. And I was trying on my wedding ring, and when I looked at it and the small thin band next to it, it just didn't fit. So I took it off. And now on my dresser, in a jewelry box, with other artifacts of my youth, a class ring, earrings purchased at music festivals, old jewelry from boyfriends, is that one thin gold band. Thank you.